Hi guys, it's me Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the ultimate guide to be. When I tell you I've been compiling this list for forever, I'm telling you guys I've been working really hard on this. So if you are a prospective student or if you are a freshman that's coming in this semester, I am giving you the rundown on everything they don't tell you, everything that they do tell you. Get a snack, sit down, because this is gonna be a long one. Before we start, please feel free to follow me on all my socials, including LinkedIn. If you are a student, please connect with me. I'd love to chat with you guys, connect, etc. So with that said, let's get into Boston University's lore. Let's start off with campus. Something that's unique about BU is that our campus is literally a straight line. You will not get lost, I promise you. Campus mainly extends from east to west, kind of starting around the Danielson area, which is a dorm, all the way down to Alston. Overall, campus is very safe. We do live in a city which can put some people at unease, but I will assure you that BU is a very safe campus. And if you do have a nighttime class and you don't want to walk alone, I know BU also offers a program where you can get someone to walk with you back to your dorm. So it is very safe. There's a lot of these like blue light boxes around campus as well. So rest assured that you will feel very safe. Next thing is that BU is located in the heart of Boston, and no other school can say that. Okay, y'all at MIT, Harvard, Northeastern, etc. Y'all are not in the city like we are. We extend right into Newbury. It's kind of crazy. So I think something so great about campus is that you can go to class, and then when you're done with class, you can go shopping or you can go to a cafe. So it's very dynamic, and you can go almost anywhere. I also have my computer down here so that I can get everything down, but I wrote down some of my key spots being GSU, which is the George Sherman Union, Mugar, BU Beach, Stuvie Lounge, the libraries, and Esplanade. Those are my main key spots on campus. And overall, I think something to say about BU is that BU is good for people who are independent and want their own personal autonomy. Like, I can't stress this enough. This is not a traditional school. You are not secluded in the middle of nowhere. You are in a city. So I think with that, you need to be okay with being by yourself sometimes. Like, I feel a lot of people at BU are independent. Now let's get into dorms. I'm sure all of y'all are curious with the East and the West debate. West is best, East, whatever, yada. So let's get into that. I'm gonna start off with West. So West is all the way near like the Alston side. So you're near the gym, Aganis, you're near the fields, all the sports stuff. Essentially, you're in that area. And with that, I will say it is more of a traditional college-y kind of feel. Like, that's the closest you're gonna get to feeling like you're at a big school. I feel like West is good for people who are involved with Greek life, who are involved in sports, etc., because you're just generally in that area. I think if you want to be at West, you also have to be a person that is just like inherently a social person. West has a specific crowd of people, like people who go to the gym, people who go out, people who just like talk a lot. If you are in that crowd, I'd say go to West. There's also gonna be a dining hall there. I've heard a rumor that they serve bigger portions at West because there's more athletes there. I'm not sure if that's true, but if someone at BU could confirm that for me, I'd love to know. And next, moving on to Central Campus. This is mainly going to be Warren and the Towers. You're in the heart of BU. Warren, I kid you not, is right across the street from Cass and Sargent and the data science building. So you can like take a nap and go to class because everything's just near each other. The walk is like 2 minutes. You're crossing the street. So Warren Towers mainly consists of freshmen and sophomores. There is a social scene, okay? Please don't believe the rumor that like, I don't know, Warren is just like unsocial. It's social, okay? Everywhere you go at BU is gonna be social. In Warren, I lived on the 16th floor in the middle tower, so crickets. Warren consists of 18 floors, and the elevators are almost always broken. Don't know if they've fixed this in the past 2 years, but you will be climbing up the stairs at one point. You will be standing in lines, and it'll be terrible. Sometimes the elevator lights shut down. Sometimes they just stop and just have to go with the flow, expect it. All right, so now let's move to the East dorms, which are going to be Miles and Danielson. Danielson, no one talks about because Danielson is literally off campus. It is not on BU campus in my opinion. I haven't heard much about it. I know it's like kind of run down. The bus does run through the Danielson dorm, so that's good, but it's just so out of the way that I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone. Also in East we have Miles. Miles is very, very nice. It's newly renovated and there's AC. It's a suite situation. So with that, you have to be aware that you need to buy your own toilet paper. You're cleaning your own bathroom. That's something that not a lot of people might know about. No one's cleaning up after you. It's gonna be you and your suite mates cleaning up after yourself. Also, Miles is near Marcy. Marcy being like I would say our most popular dining hall on campus. I forgot to mention Hojo in the central area. Hojo, I've just heard is like scary and creepy, and I think it's mainly triples as well. I don't think anyone wants to dorm at Hojo. Granted, it's right next to Questrom and like very close to Marcy, but I've just heard it's haunted, so caution, beware of that. And last we have South Campus, which is where I'm located at. I think that South Campus is the best, but I don't think anyone would agree with me. So we have like the Fenway area, and then we also have Brownstones. Brownstones, they're cute and all, but people romanticize them too much. I kind of wanted to speak more on the Fenway area because that's where I live. So Fenway is a 15-minute walk from BU campus. I like it because it's very, very just calm. It doesn't feel like I'm in the craziness of the city. But I will say, as a freshman, I do not recommend dorming in South Campus because it's not as social. Like, people who are there are mainly like upperclassmen, people who have established friend groups, etc. Like, it's not really social. I will say everyone is very, very friendly though. Also, just amenities wise, there's a small gym. It reminds me of a hotel gym. So if you are like a big weightlifter, not like the ideal gym place. And also we have the Fenway Dining Hall, which is the best dining hall on campus, okay? And the food is just amazing. If you have an allergy, Fenway Dining Hall is great because they will cater to your needs. And also, as someone who is vegetarian, they always have vegan options. So love Fenway Dining Hall. They're my faves, always will be, always have. Okay, and since we're on the topic of housing, let's talk about the housing process. So I think the number one thing with housing is that you cannot predict where you're going to live based on your number. Like, it just doesn't work like that because things are so unpredictable. At minimum, you need to have at least 3 to 5 options as to where you want to live, because for the most part, it's not gonna work out, especially if you are lower classmen. Like, it's not gonna work out. You can get pulled in if you know someone who is, you know, living somewhere that you want to live. So that's something that you need to know. If you really don't like your dorm, apply for summer swap. I think it usually works out in most people's favors. It's kind of underrated, kind of a secret, but if you really despise your dorm, highly recommend applying for summer swap as soon as possible. And just in terms of how the dorms kind of go and how people select them, Stuvie typically goes first, and then your Brownstones, Whitestones, and South usually goes next, and then Miles, and then Towers, Hojo, and then Warren and West. So that's the order of popularity, and that's how the dorms kind of just like fade away as people choose their dorms. That was a lot about housing, but now we're moving on to the social scene, because I think a lot of people are curious about BU's social scene because we are not, again, a traditional big campus kind of school. And I will say with BU, there is a lot of people, and with that, you have to put yourself out there. If you want to make friends, you need to put yourself out there. I think this applies with almost every single school, but because there are so many people, if you want to establish like close friends, you really have to put in that effort. For the most part, I feel like you have like a shit ton of surface level friends, which is good. It's good for networking, but I think it's important to find your core group of people that you can go back to always. I think the social scene is genuinely whatever you make it to be. When people are like, oh, Warren is best or West is best, like, does not matter. You make your social life what you make it. Don't be put off if you're in Warren and you really wanted to be in West. It's not that big of a deal. All right, and now let's talk about Greek life for all my Greek life people. If you are very adamant on going to a school with a big Greek life, do not come to BU, okay? BU is not your traditional kind of Greek life school because we barely have any fraternities and sororities. And I will say BU is the kind of school where it does not matter if you're involved in Greek life. Like, no one gives a shit if you are or aren't in Greek life. It doesn't determine your social status like it might at like Alabama or something like that. I will say more people aren't in Greek life than there are people in Greek life. So know that if you're not interested in Greek life, BU might be a good school for you. But if you are adamant on like rushing all those things, go to a bigger school. Don't come to BU. Another great thing about BU is that if you don't like the party scene, there is so much more to do. And I think that's what differentiates being in a city school, is the fact that you can go out and explore. You don't have to waste every Friday night, you know, drinking and going to a party, etc. You can go and explore the city. There's so much more to do besides party. Like me, I would rather spend my Friday night going out and getting a good dinner in the city rather than being in a frat in a sweaty basement. So know that. As for big events, let me list them off. The first one we have is Lobster Night. Then we have the Bean Pot, Frozen 4, hockey related stuff. BUBC anything is a very, very big ordeal at our school. If you are a freshman, highly recommend going to the BUBC game. And for more events, we have Marmon, which is Marathon Monday. We have St. Patty's and then Halloween. We also have Welcome Week, which is kind of more so a thing for freshmen. It's just a good way to socialize and get out with new people. And then next we have Splash, which is to kind of discover all the new clubs. And I think the last thing I would like to mention is just Red Sox games. I'm wearing a Red Sox shirt. Student tickets are $9. So sign up for the Student Nines program because baseball tickets are $9, okay? It may be a boring sport, but it's $9. Now let's talk about food and dining. Our dining halls include Marciano, West, Fenway, Granby Commons, which not a lot of people acknowledge, and Warren. As for food, everyone has a very different opinion. I will say sometimes I talk about BU's food as if it is like jail food. That is just my opinion. But for the most part, I feel like the food is pretty decent. If you are someone who does not have a dietary restriction, you will be just fine. I think just know, like just check if your food is cooked because sometimes it's not. And I've known so many people who have gotten food poisoning from the dining hall. So check if your food is cooked, okay? That's important. I will say as a vegetarian, sometimes it gets tough, especially if you're living in Warren and West. But I will say you need to find like your reliable stuff. I say Sandwich Station and Salad are very, very reliable. Like you cannot go wrong with those. During midterms and finals, the quality just drops. And that's just something you have to be aware of. Or maybe save your dining points for midterms and finals because food gets very, very, very mid during those times. And just differentiating between dining swipes and dining points. So swipes gets you into the dining hall and then points, they vary for each person depending on your dining plan. But with dining points, you can go to like the convenience store, you can go to Bosch, Panda Express, etc. That's why GSU is always so poppin'. It's because like there's good food over there. Now let's move on to public transportation because this is a city and you gotta learn how to get around. I'm gonna give you the lowdown because people will be looking like fools sometimes, so we're gonna figure out public transportation together. First thing, walk everywhere. Walking is so good for your physical health and also it's just good for your mental health as well. Try to walk everywhere, walk as much as possible before winter comes around because it gets unbearable, but there are rules for walking, okay? For the most part, stay towards the right side of, you know, your path. Stay on the right side. And the number one no, do not link up with people while you walk. Do not do this with your friends on the sidewalk. It pisses people off, especially during, you know, exchange periods. Do not hold hands with your friends. Do not link with your friends, okay? Do not take up the whole sidewalk because it is very, very, very not okay. It's annoying to other people and it's just not courteous at all. And a lot of freshmen do it, so don't be that freshman that does it. Along those lines, do not walk with your phone glued to your face, okay? You're gonna bump into someone, you're gonna piss someone off. Walk and be aware. You can listen to music. Don't be walking around like this. Don't walk like this, okay? Don't be a fool, don't be stupid. Be courteous, be demure, be mindful. Last thing, if you're gonna jaywalk when necessary. I am a proud jaywalker, but when I jaywalk, I pay attention to the lights that the cars follow, okay? Don't be an idiot and step off the curb too early and get honked at and get run over, all right? Those are the rules with jaywalking. And as for getting to class, I highly recommend using the BU bus system. It's a shuttle system. I love it. But there are 3 routes. So there's the Med Campus bus, there's the Com Ave route, and then there's the Fenway route. I will say for the most part, everything's very reliable, but the timing that they put online isn't always accurate. If you are an avid user of the bus, highly recommend downloading Translog. I'll put the app on the screen right now. It directly tracks the bus, okay? So you know where the bus is going, what direction it's going in. And also another thing is that the Med Campus bus brings you to Newbury as well. So don't pay for the T, take the bus for free and you'll be in the heart of the city. So that's another hack. Same thing goes for Fenway. If you're gonna be in the Fenway area and if you wanna take public transportation, take the BU bus. If the BU bus is an option, take it because it's free. Editing Gwen here. I forgot to mention one more route, which is the night route. This essentially runs at the later hours of the night and it runs through the whole campus. I think it's like one bus at a time and it just goes everywhere. So it does take longer to get to your destination, but know that a bus runs at night. And then as for the T, we all know and hate the T. With the T and for the bus and any form of public transportation, let people off before you get on, or else you're gonna piss people off. It's just the right thing to do. Be courteous, be very, very mindful of who was on before you. And also, if it is crowded, if it is rush hour, walk in towards the middle section of the T. Don't block up the doors, okay? If it's rush hour, if there's a lot of people, you need to walk towards the middle of the cart. You're not gonna die, okay? You're gonna be fine. Just walk towards the middle of the cart. Another courteous thing to be aware of. And then people on scooters, be aware, because these people will run you over. It'll be a hit and run and you can get severely hurt. People who ride scooters are on another level of I don't give a f, because they do not follow any form of rule ever. They're on their own time zone, on their own timeline, and be aware of them because they're very scary and I don't want you getting run over by an electric scooter. All right, and as for the weather gets very, very harsh. Boston winters are harsh, and that is coming from a New Yorker. It gets extremely, extremely cold, and I will say you need to have gloves, a scarf, and a jacket. Have a good quality, nice, like dense winter puffer jacket, okay? Because ComAb is a wind tunnel. People don't talk about this enough. ComAb is literally a wind tunnel, and it's not cute. It's not like supermodel, like let me blow my hair around cute. No, it's embarrassing the amount of wind that runs through ComAb. And when it does get too cold to walk outside, like let's say it's unbearable, know that you can walk in Cass and walk in the School of Theology. You don't have to walk outside. Like this is Cass, this is the road, walk inside Cass. Same thing goes for my engineering people at Cummington Mall. You can walk underneath, like you can walk in the building. And last but not least, we are in academics. The big thing at BU is grade deflation this, grade deflation that. Your grade is what you make it to be. Your GPA and your grades are just a reflection of the work that you've put in. We also have the hub system. So at our school, there is no like gen ed requirement. Instead, we have the hub system. I'm not gonna try and explain it. I'll put something up on the screen because I cannot explain hub, but you need to complete hub in order to graduate. I think it's just important to just like hit as many hubs as possible with one class. If you are like a comm major, you might find yourself taking like a math or a science class to get that hub. Next thing is that some people will judge your major, and this is more of like a social thing. I think your major will sometimes have like a stigma around it, and it is the weirdest thing ever. At comm, which is where I'm at, people will shit on you for being in comm. They'll be like, you don't do any work, you don't do this and that. At BU, there was this girl who was on a TikTok and it went viral, and essentially she was like publicly shitting on comm people.
Which major is the biggest waste of money?
Comm, for sure. It's a bad major and they're all stupid.
Don't do that. Like, I don't know. I think people who judge other people based on majors are kind of sick in the head and don't have anything to do with their life. But I will say, like, sometimes people will judge you based on what your major is. It does not happen all the time. It's not like a common thing, but don't take it personally. It will happen. Like, someone will judge you and you just have to be all right with it. Next thing, if you do plan on switching majors, switching schools, know that the IUT process works different for everyone. I went through it. I've talked about it multiple times. I transferred from CAS to comm. You just have to take the gateway class. Don't make it complicated. Take the gateway class and know that the transfer process is different for every school. Like if you want to transfer into CAS, there's no class you have to take. But if you want to transfer into Questrum, you have to take multiple classes. So be aware and know what you're doing. Know that there are different processes for different schools. So just be aware of that. Okay, something about CAS. CAS has 2 5th floors. So if you can't find your class, you have to go to the 4th floor and you just walk up a couple stairs and you're on the other 5th floor. No one talks about this. CAS has 2 5th floors. Okay, there's 2 entries. So if you find yourself with a 5th floor class, know which 5th floor you're on. That's just some lore on CAS. I don't know if there's any other building like this, but that's how CAS works. Case is closed. We're done. That was my whole lowdown on BU. Not really a lowdown. This was literally me sitting here for 40 minutes talking about BU. I don't want to do this video ever again, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. I think the move-in vlog will be after this one, so So get ready because I know y'all love that shit, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, follow my socials, get ready for junior year with me. It's our what, 5th semester at BU? Oh my god. So stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything I missed, please feel free to ask a question in the comments. I will reply. I hope I didn't miss anything, and I hope I answered your questions, and I will see you next time. Bye!